Anubhav,
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon to you.
Yes, thank you, sir.
And welcome to today's mock interview.
Thank you,
Our
sir.
chairman is joining in. There he is.
Yes.
Joining through
Yes, sir. The candidate is here.
uh,
Anubhav Dimri.
yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Sir, my name is Anubhav Dimri.
Anubhav Dimri.
Yes, sir.
Anubhav, please tell me all about yourself in 3 minutes. Everything that you wish to tell me.
Sir, I am Anubhav Dimri. I was born in Uttarakhand, and we moved outside Uttarakhand at a very young age due to my father being in army. I schooled from Army Public School.
Don't speak so fast that I don't understand anything that you are saying. I must
Sir,
be able to follow.
yes, yes. Sir, I was born in Uttarakhand, and we moved outside Uttarakhand at a very young age because my father was in army. Then we moved to UP, then some other areas. I completed my schooling from Army Public School, and then I moved to Delhi. Now I am a resident of Delhi, and I graduated in 2019 from computer science. My primary interests are sports. I have played many sports, especially football. And so this is what I would like to tell you in brief about myself.
Very nice. So which part of Uttarakhand did you come from?
Sir, I am from the Chamoli district near Kanpriyag.
Okay. And where did your father serve in the army?
So my father had,
Which battalion or whatever? Or
so my father was in 3 Gadwal Rifles, and he was also there in 36 RR when he was posted in JNK.
all right. You don't have to give this station or this thing. When I ask where in army, you can say whether in artillery regiment or whether in rifles or whatever it is, or
Yes, sir.
armors or whatever. You can broadly give description.
Yes,
Nobody
sir.
expects you to describe it is not needed. Where
Yes,
was
sir.
he posted? Okay.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So where did you do your IT from?
Sir, I did my computer science from Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Technology, which is a college under Indraprasth University.
Okay. Which year did you do it?
Sir, in 2019, I am graduated.
19. And after that, what did you do?
Sir, after that, I started preparing for 2020 attempt, and this is my that attempt, sir, for 1 year.
This is your first attempt and first.
No, sir, this is my second attempt. One I gave in the 4th year itself.
And the first interview.
Yes, sir, right, sir.
Okay. Which is your date? When is your interview scheduled to be held?
So it is on 24 August next month.
Okay. Have you taken any mock interviews so far?
Yes, sir, I have taken 2 or 3. They were Khan sir and the other Wajirao.
Doesn't matter.
Yes.
You must have been given some feedback, any tips or advice, how to
Yes.
improve. What
Yes,
were
sir.
these tips and advice?
So first, as you said, speak slowly and also a little bit louder because in real interviews I have been said
And
that.
the second thing I wanted to say, because I am keeping my ears close to the screen. So speak a bit
Yes, sir.
louder. Not so loud
Okay,
that
sir.
it becomes offensive, but louder
Yes, sir.
loud enough to reach the ears of the interviewer.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I have been also asked to prepare more on the opinion-based questions and some facts about the army.
Some facts about?
Sir, my father's background, that is the army, for example, the units, etc.
That's what I told you.
Yes, sir.
And your tie should be, the upper portion, this thing should be closed up to the neck. It should not be loose. It should not be loose.
Okay.
These things should be joined. These 2 tips should be joined. And this one should just, snugly fit in here.
Oh, thank you.
That's a polite way of this thing, and sit straight. Your posture is important. and not unnecessarily straight, relaxed, but spine should be erect. And a faint smile, polite smile on your face. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Now tell me about your family.
Sir, my father is in army.
What do they do?
Sir, my mother is a homemaker, and my father is in army. My sister is younger than me, and she is currently in DU from
And
maths honors.
brother,
Sir, just two, me and my sister.
what is your mission in life? What do you want to achieve?
Sir, I want to attain, for example, in any, be it my habits, be it my discipline, I want to attain perfection in that. And
Speak slowly, and the sentence should be full. Right. Tell me, what do you
Sir,
want to achieve in life?
sir, I just want to achieve any task that I do. I want to be perfect in that, be it college or be it any job that I am doing.
Oh, that's very good. That is the way of doing things. That's not a mission.
Yes, sir.
It is a process.
Yes, sir.
But you have to have a goal, in a mission, an objective. Anyway, think over it. What do you want to achieve out of life? So far, what is your biggest achievement in life, in your view?
Sir, I think that after preparation, I have achieved, especially in my self-development goals. Before, I used to be very lazy. I used to be addicted to phones. I used to wake up late, and all of the things I have changed about myself.
Please don't say that. It is not going to give a very good impression about you, that you used to be lazy, you used to get up late. I mean, you are not a boy anymore. You are not a young child. You have
Yes.
grown up. So these are the traits which you are supposed to have developed very early in life. So don't say that, but think over what else. Anyway, I'm giving you some sample questions which you can practice later on. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And on your mission, your goals, you can think over and respond what you want to achieve. Do you love sports? You said football. Any other sport?
Yes, sir. I started I started football, but I also play cricket, and I bowl right hand fast. But I am not that good in it, and I also play volleyball from the left side, sir.
Football.
Yes.
What was the result of the Euro Championship this year?
Sir,
Football Euro.
yes, sir.
Did you watch the finals?
Yes, sir. I watched it, sir.
What was the result?
So it was between
Sorry.
England. So it was played between England and sir,
Italy.
Italy, and sir, Italy won in penalties by 4-3.
By 4-3.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you feel about the result? Are you happy about it?
Yes, sir. I am very happy about it, because the previous match, that was semi-final, it was because the player dived and there was a controversy. It was a wrong foul. So Italy deserved it because of their hard work, because of their strategy. And I think it was a well-deserved win.
My final question. You did your this thing in IT, right?
Yes, sir. Right.
Government is giving a lot of thrust on IT now.
Yes, sir.
There are a few bills which are likely to be brought up before the parliament on IT. Any
Yes, sir.
idea what are those bills like?
Sir, one has been passed, that is IT Act. There was some goals, and
You should know the full name. IT Act has been passed several decades ago.
so recently there were regulations on the IT companies, Twitter, etc. Some regulations were brought.
It is imprecise. You should be clear, crisp. What are those regulations? And on the IT Act, what are those? What is the name of that act? You should be clear. There are 23 bills which are coming up before the parliament. Go through the list. Be clear. Over to you, Neeraj.
Thank you, sir. Anubhav,
Yes, sir.
there is a well-known film personality now who shares your surname. Have you
Yes,
heard
sir.
of that personality?
Sir, I have heard of an actress, Tripti Dimri.
What is the name? Sorry.
Sir, I think it is Tripti Dimri. She came in a movie earlier.
So which part of Uttarakhand does she come from?
Sir, all the surname with Dimris, they come from Chamoli district only. There is a village Dimmer from which all the people called Dimri belong to.
Okay, okay. So which show did she appear in, which made her famous?
Sir, I am not aware of this, sir.
Okay, you don't watch movies or web series?
No, sir. I do not watch any of them.
Okay, okay, not a problem, not a problem. Your hobbies are very interesting, one of which is manga art. Is it called manga or manga?
Sir, manga art.
Manga art. What
Yes,
is
sir.
manga art?
So manga art is basically drawing two-dimensional pictures with a pencil with very less shading, and the themes are primarily the cartoons like Naruto, etc. But the original ones were connected to Japanese pride, but now they are linked to cartoons only. I made on them.
So you make manga art, is that right?
Yes, sir. Right.
Okay. And do you make it in the form of a comic or do you in the form of a cartoon? What do you make?
Sir, I make only in the simple cartoon, but they are a part of a larger comic. There is a story on that, and there are well-known manga artists, but there are also some artists who draw only the standalone pictures.
Okay, so you do standalone or do you make
It's a standalone only, sir.
standalone? Okay. And the other hobby you have mentioned is beatbox music.
Yes, sir.
What is beatbox music?
So beatbox music is a hip hop art in which the person who is producing the music is producing from his mouth. For example, the drum, snare, hit, all of these are from his mouth only, even the bass.
Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. Now tell me, you may have heard of the term smart city.
Yes, sir.
What does smart city mean?
Sir, a smart city is described as a city where there is very highly developed technology. For example, the buildings are developed with IoT, or the traffic signals are interconnected. The sewage is proper. All the other aspect, that is water connection, these are digitized. And there are also other ways, like the waste generated is recycled. All of these make the smart cities.
Now, supposing a city was smart and there was COVID in that city, how would the city's smartness help in COVID management?
Sir, I think one could be that smart cities has certain sensors and the CCTV cameras, and there are many developed countries which have used this to check the temperatures in the COVID-19, and China has used it as a means of quarantine. A smart city could also be used, especially when when the supply of the commodities have been affected. A smart city can be used directly to make a demand from the homes. There could be also, from a social aspect, the domestic violence against women has increased, and Supreme Court, in that context, had said that a panic button which is connected to the government servers is there. So if such kind of thing is attached to smart cities, then it would be a good step for women also. I think, sir, these are some of the things how smart cities could help.
What is the most critical part of a smart city?
Sir, the fact that all the data generated is not only stored, but also the value is generated through AI is the biggest positive of the smart city, so that the economy, the demand, all of these could be influenced.
Okay. Have you heard of Elgar Parishad?
Yes, sir. A little bit of.
What is Elgar Parishad?
Sir, I've heard it, I've seen it in newspaper when the UAPA or etc. is talked about. Elgar Parishad, those who were, I'm not sure, but those who were, it was a case with the UAPA in 2018. Something happened.
What happened in 2018?
So in 2018, Supreme Court tweaked the SC/ST Act and allowed some of the modifications which were seen as shifting their power towards the dominant caste, and there were large-scale riots. Then the government arrested some of the people, as recently Father Stan, etc. And I think Elgar Parishad was a case, something in that case.
No, there was a certain incident
Yes,
because of which all this happened.
yes, sir.
Haven't you heard of that incident? What was it called? You are right, it was 2018. But what was the incident called?
Sir, I am not aware of it, sir.
You've forgotten about Bhima Koregaon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right.
What was Bhima Koregaon incident? And
Sir,
how is Elgar Parishad connected to Bhima Koregaon?
Sir, in Bhima Koregaon case, the Dalits were celebrating some 200 years of their victory over the Maratha soldiers, and the other dominant caste attacked them because they were, as a tool of hegemony. Then large-scale riots occurred because of the Dalit assertiveness. Sir, I'm not sure about how this case is connected to Elgar Parishad, sir.
Okay. But was it Dalit victory over the higher caste 2000 years back, or was it something else?
Sir, basically it was that the colonial forces defeated the Marathas, and it consisted of a large army of Mehers, that is the Dalit caste. So it was seen as a tool of hegemony, sir.
Okay, so it has become a symbol of the Dalit victory over higher caste.
Yes, sir.
And it happened when colonial forces, at that time the colonial forces were the East India Company, and they had Mahars in their ranks, and the British forces beat the Peshwas, and this is taken as the victory of the Dalits over the higher caste, which was being celebrated. Okay. The last question that I'll ask you is about cyber terrorism, because you are a person who has studied IT. So what is cyber terrorism, and how can it be neutralized?
So cyber terrorism has to be seen in the context of China attacking their power plants in Mumbai. So what it basically means is that a cyber force is used to offset the enemy country's assets. And the basic premise is that malware, spyware, or very strong threats are being imposed, like denial of service on the infrastructure, like they did in the electricity. There was the light gone, the servers were disrupted. There have been in the past also some cases. I think if we try to take the steps, the first step is that there should be coordination between the different agencies. There is a Ministry of IT, then there is an organization called NTTO. There is lack of coordination between them. A clearly defined area and accountability should be there. I have also seen that in the last 2-3 years, there have been some cases, and government is silent about how we should proceed, what has happened in those cases, like Kundankulam power plants attacks have also been there. If government makes a report and tables it on the parliament, it would also not keep the other government agencies in dark. We should also start a doctrine like we have done in the nuclear NFU or something like that, so that clearly defined objectives could be done, so that if a host country attacks, then what steps could be taken. So I think these are the steps, and we should also give more fund to research and development in these aspects.
There is a malware that is reported to have affected a large number of WhatsApp subscribers. Are you aware what that malware is called?
Sir, it's called Pegasus by Israeli defensive agencies.
And what has it done?
Sir, what it is reported that it is sold by only to government agencies and the other facts. The fear associated is that the government uses this spyware to target the activists, the journalists, and take out their sensitive data. Even today, there have been reports that 34 journalists, their accounts have been compromised with the Pegasus software.
So has it been done by the government, or has it been done by Israel, or has it been done by some outside forces?
So it says that Israel sells it to government agencies. Now, it is not clear whether it is India's government, but I feel that there might be enemy governments, like the Chinese government could also take it, the Pakistani government could also take it. These, I think, that these are the countries that have a hand in it. But up till report is there, we cannot say anything, sir.
Okay, Rajiv ji.
Thank you, sir. Hello, Anubhav.
Hello, sir.
Today we are getting an opportunity to interview someone who has IFS and not IAS as the first preference.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Anubhav, tell me, in sociology, is India conforming to Max Weber's concept of bureaucracy?
Sir, I think we are moving towards it, and steps have been taken. But we are right now we are not near it, because Weber, and in no country of the world is anywhere near to the Weberian bureaucracy, because what Weber is saying is that all the ideal types he's describing, and Weber himself says that a bureaucracy is different from an ideal bureaucrat. So I think to make it ideal, steps have to be taken. For example, corruption. Weber says they are very efficient, and until corruption is there, there could be no agency that is efficient. So if the steps are being taken, then we are moving towards that direction, sir.
What do you know about the Open Skies Treaty?
But I think it is in context of Russia and United States. What it does is that it allows there are two parties, and it allows the other party to take the surveillance over the host state, and all the military installation could be viewed. And there is also timing that half hour or 2 hours need to be given before reporting. So it is basically confidence building measure.
Okay. Ideally, I would have liked you to begin with when it was signed in that manner, so it gives an impression that you have it organized in your mind. I'll come to that when we review when we assess your performance. Second question is on Extradition Act. Is our extradition treaty effective enough to get the wrongdoers, violators of Indian laws, back to our country?
Sir, I think that the extradition treaty, it also depends on the other state, and we have seen that in many times the developed countries have refused to do it. So there could be the solution of this lies in more engagement, in more confidence building, so that they could be it can be done.
Okay, what is the Raisina dialogue?
So Raisina dialogue is organized by India. Indian Observer Foundation is an organization. What it does is that it hosts all the diplomats and all the other experts track to diplomacy, which creates a consensus on the key issues of the world going on right now. Recently, there was on the WTO, etc. in 2019. Before COVID, it was done.
Okay. State the position of India on the stress zones, that is West Asia, Indo-Pacific, and Afghanistan, one by one.
So stress zones.
Yeah, in West Asia, Indo-Pacific, and Afghanistan. India's position.
Sir, sorry, sir, what is meant by stress zones? I don't understand.
I mean, these areas of conflict.
Yes, sir.
These are all areas of conflict. And what is India's role? What is India's perception of these?
Sir, in context of withdrawal of the US forces, India's primary interest lies in continuing the infrastructure, soft infrastructure that it has continued. But there is also fear associated that Pakistan would have a strategic depth in case of withdrawal. There are also concerns that it would make the whole area unstable, and it would affect India's trade prospect with Central Asian region. The other is the Indo-Pacific region. Now, the biggest issue here is that Indian and Pacific Ocean are not geopolitical constructs. They are basically artificial constructs, and this is why United States want India primarily to play a role in the West Pacific, whereas India's interests lie primarily in the Indian Ocean region because there is a string of pearls. ASEAN also wants this. So this is the basic issue in the other. And with respect to West Asia, the issue is that first, a lot of energy sources are coming from this point, but this is also a very politically unstable region. Second, a large number of Indian people are working, their remittances are there. So there is also an economic aspect. Sir, these are some of the issues that India has in these three regions.
In this context, what is understood by the OCI? So what is OCI?
Sir, you mean, sir, overseas citizen?
Yes.
Sir, overseas citizen of India, basically the constitution does not promote the dual citizenship. And we also know that the overseas citizens of India have a very high economic value, be it the foreign direct investment, be it the technology transfer. They also are very important for the strategic matters. For example, the US diaspora, it helped in civil nuclear deal. So government wanted to incorporate them at the same time, follow the constitutional ideals. So it formed a overseas citizen of India card, which allows a lot of benefits, except that they are formal citizens of India, like investments, etc.
Can you, if you don't know, can you make a guess of the remittances and the number of OCIs?
Sir,
Doesn't matter. I just okay. So on now say friendship. See, multilateral organizations of which India is a member and of which we are not a member. Can you describe some of them?
India is a member of SCO. India is a member of BRICS, G20, and India is, if not, I see not the member, then APEC recently signed RCEP. OIC is also a very influential thing. Sir,
Okay. Why did we pull out of RCEP?
Sir, there were a few reasons, and this is to be seen especially in context of post-COVID. There were, with respect to goods, there was a clause of rules of origin that said that the rules of origin countries should be where value added is more, and this could be ASEAN country. China could use this as to route. There was something in the services they do not want to incorporate the package deal by India. There was something in the FDI that India wanted a clause that could be used for preferential treatment, and this I am saying in context of China, where Chinese FDI have been used to take over the Indian assets. There was also a concern that it could be used to politically leverage, like India has done in digital strike. So India did not join the RCEP, sir.
Okay. Now, can you briefly tell me how would you handle the Rohingya? I mean, what recommendations you would make to handle the Rohingya situation, the problem that is evolving there?
Sir, from Myanmar to Bangladesh migration, right?
Yes.
Sir, I think legally, if we see, they have been denied citizenship from the Domestic Act. So I think we could build a consensus with Myanmar, but we should not take into any forum like UNSC, because Myanmar is very important strategically as well as geopolitically to India. So it should be from the, it should be a down-up strategy and not a top-bottom strategy. At the same time, if we really want to do something on the Rohingya issue, we could fund the Bangladesh because it is hosting the largest number of the Rohingya Muslims. We also have to keep realistic aims in mind, and there was a report released by Bangladesh that Rohingyas are doing anti-national activity in those acts. So we should, keeping all of these things in mind, we should shape this long-term strategy towards Rohingya.
What is the problem that UK is facing on Brexit?
Sir, the Brexit
is a dilemma that they are facing. What is it?
Sir, it is primarily the economic dilemma. What was happened before the Brexit was that US would had a preferential preference in the European nations, but now the duties would be increased up to a very high level, and that's why UK is watching towards other countries like India and Bangladesh to sign treaties with them. There is also a concern that UK would be seen as a anti-globalization, anti-globalist country, especially when it is a part of Western nation. So this is, I think, two concerns with Brexit.
Okay, how would you define the LAC and the LOC? LAC and the LOC.
So these both are the, they are they're agreed, but these are not the original boundaries that India had. The LOC is while the western boundary with Pakistan, and the LAC is the easternmost boundary that Ladakh shares with the China.
What is the 32nd parallel?
Sir, as far as I think it was when the South Korea, North Korea was divided along 32 parallel.
Yeah, sorry. Was the McMahon line correctly defined? Was it correctly drawn up? Or
Sir, the McMahon line was agreed between China and British pre-independence, and what it marked Kashmir into Indian territory, and even the Tibet was also a part of that, and the Arunachal Pradesh. But what China says now is that we do not agree to that line because it was signed by the monarchy, and now we are a communist nation.
lastly, the what is our look east policy?
The Look East policy is a strategic and economic policy which basically aims to increase the trade with the ASEAN region, because this is a cost-effective region. It has high logistics, and there also lies a strategic value, because what China is doing is that it is dominating the ASEAN countries in the South China Sea. So India sees Look East as a way to increase its presence in the South China Sea, and also a friendly relation with these ASEAN countries.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajiv ji. May I repeat the same things which I have mentioned earlier? You speak a bit too fast. I've been watching you. In between, I had to be off because the electricity didn't, there was a disruption in electricity and Wi-Fi at my end, so I missed a part of it. But whatever I have seen, I must again alert you that you speak a bit too fast, with the result that you are not able to complete your sentences properly. You hear yourself record on a smartphone or a video or whatever. Hear yourself. Watch yourself in a mirror. It doesn't give a very good impression about you. That you should complete your sentences, speak slowly, complete the sentences and be clear in what you are saying. आधे तो sentences आप खा जाते हैं बीच में बोलते बोलते, तो समझ में नहीं आता. जल्दी जल्दी बोलेंगे तो पूरा कोई नहीं कर पाएंगे आप, समझे नहीं?
Yes, sir.
So otherwise your answers are good, your personality is superb, your background is great, your father has served in the army. Number of positive factors you have. You are from Uttarakhand, you have shifted to Delhi and all that. So just improve your posture, your delivery, your personality, the way you answer questions will be great. Neeraj ji, आप कुछ बताना चाहेंगे?
नहीं sir, the most important shortcoming is your speech. You tried to improve in between and you did improve, but then you went back to your original speed. So if you speak at this rate during the interview, you would have lost a number of marks. So for God's sake, speak slowly, and you still have time before your interview. If you keep practicing in your day-to-day talking, I'm sure you can improve and you can get rid of this bad habit.
I'm trying to speak slowly, sir, but in between it becomes very fast, and even I am not aware of it, sir.
अभी भी आप जो बोल रहे हैं ना, अभी भी आप पूरा सेंटेंस क्लियरली और ठीक से जोर से नहीं बोल रहे हैं.
Sir, how can I practice this?
सब शब्दों को मुगल मुगल कर रहे हैं आप. जो बोल रहे हैं सेंटेंस पूरा बोल के देखिए. I shall try to speak slowly and in full. आप जो बोलना चाहते हैं आप मिरर के सामने प्रैक्टिस करिए.
Okay, thank you.
कोई किताब खोल लीजिए और किताब से पढ़िए और देखिए कितना स्लोली आप पढ़ सकते हैं. हर शब्द का उच्चारण आपको ठीक से करना है, पूरा करना है और उस पर एम्फेसिस देना है. उस पर जोर देना है। जो किसी भी वाक्य में जो मुख्य शब्द है उस पर पूरा आप जोर दीजिए,
Yes.
एम्फेसिस दीजिए और इसकी आदत डालिए।
Okay. sir.
ठीक है ना?
ठीक है।
तो
एक आप ये कर सकते हैं कि YouTube खोलिए,
Yes.
YouTube में IAS इंटरव्यूज के बारे में आपको बहुत मिलेंगे YouTube
Yes.
जो किए हुए हैं। आपका भी शायद YouTube पे चला जाए, जो भी आपको YouTube में मिले, जो उसमें कुछ IAS टॉपर के भी इंटरव्यूज होंगे, कुछ औरों के भी होंगे, वो देखने से अगर आपको आइडिया लगे कि वो लोग कैसे बोलते हैं, क्या जवाब देते हैं, ये पर्सनैलिटी टेस्ट है, कंटेंट की बात नहीं है इतनी। आपकी पर्सनैलिटी कैसी है, क्या आप बोल रहे हैं, और कोई अनकंफर्टेबल क्वेश्चन भी अगर आ जाए ना,
Yes. sir.
उसको कैसे हैंडल करना है, कैसे डिफ्लेक्ट करना है, ये आपको सीखना है। अगर आपको किसी सवाल का जवाब नहीं पता है, घबराना नहीं है, बता दीजिए सॉरी सर आई डोंट नो। आपको किसी सवाल के जवाब में कुछ समय और चाहिए, सर कैन आई टेक ए मिनट, आप जो भी कहना चाहते हैं, यू शुड बी ट्रांसपेरेंट एंड कॉन्फिडेंट कि आप जो कर रहे हैं। समझ रहे हैं?
Yes, sir.
राजीव जी, आप कुछ बताना चाहेंगे
जी
इनको?
सर, अनुभव ठीक है। आपको एक आई कांटेक्ट पे भी हम देख रहे थे, बीच में ही इन द मिडल ऑफ योर रिस्पॉन्स यू वुड लुक अपवर्ड्स और साइडवेज। वो आई थिंक आइडियली अभी तो खैर ऑनलाइन इसमें उतना समझ नहीं आ रहा, लेकिन ऑफलाइन में यू शुड बी एंगेजिंग द अटेंशन ऑफ द बोर्ड इंस्टेड ऑफ लुकिंग साइडवेज। ओके, जस्ट कीप दैट इन माइंड। मैंने वेबर पर पूछा था, आई थॉट दैट यू वुड फर्स्ट define the way Weber has defined bureaucracy, and then go on to how the Indian situation can be synergized with what he has said. Ideally, you should have first defined it. Then second, on extradition, you did not mention the legislative business. I mean, the basis on which it was Extradition Act 1962. That is what defines how an extradition treaty for India is, conducted with other countries. Then it can only be made, and a request for extradition of a person can made only by the Ministry of External Affairs. These are the important features. How to frame your answer. And there no grounds on military or political offenses can be entertained. These are important features. Then on the Open Skies Treaty, see, when it was signed, ideally, chronologically, only you can build up an answer. No, it was signed 1992, then 2002 it came into effect. And most important, 34 nations are members of the Open Sky Treaty. These are important components. Then most important, Open Skies Consultative Commission is the one which monitors. That is the one which monitors and coordinates. So these are areas on which you could have ideally. That is how you should build up an answer. Develop it should evolve. Shouldn't be come in between and then again go to the end and you go to another. It should be in a logical manner. Otherwise, everything Chairman and Neeraj sir have already stated what I wish to state. Sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
I
thank you.
wish you all the best. अभी आपके पास थोड़ा वक्त है.
Yes.
You try to improve, try to practice. If needed, take a couple of more mock sessions with others or with us as you like. लेकिन आप बस अपना ये सब improve करिए जो आपको बताया गया.
Okay.